No two people in the Bible are more associated with evil than Judas and Jezebel. For over 2,000 years, they have been seen as symbols of male betrayal and female wickedness, so it's unlikely any Christian children have been named after them. Everyone knows the story of Judas, the disciple who betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. But Jezebel's story isn't as well known. Over the centuries, in books, poems, movies, sermons, and songs, this 9th century BC pagan queen of Israel has come to represent the evil woman. However, the details of her life, found in 1st and 2nd Kings, are probably unfamiliar to most, except serious Bible readers. Jezebel's story, with its plots, sex, cruelty, and murder, is a mix of history, allegory, and metaphor that makes many Old Testament stories interesting. Jezebel is one of the most fascinating women in the scriptures. She is seen as strong-willed, politically smart, and courageous, despite her bloody history. A Phoenician princess who worships Baal, the pagan god of fertility, Jezebel marries King Ahab of Israel. She convinces him to accept her foreign faith, and she becomes deeply involved in the fierce religious conflict that leads to her death. After marrying King Ahab, Jezebel becomes the real power behind the throne. Their marriage is a political alliance that benefits both nations and allows Jezebel to promote her Baal religion, which includes many gods, ritual sex, and temple prostitutes. She despises the monotheistic Hebrew religion, and when she becomes queen, some Israelites are already worshipping foreign idols. Under Jezebel's influence, King Ahab supports and encourages pagan rituals, leading Yahweh to send a 3-year drought to punish the people. Jezebel then brings 450 priests of Baal from Phoenicia and has many of Yahweh's prophets killed. For the Jews, worshipping Baal was the worst sin against God, similar to how Christians today would view worshipping Satan. Some people see Jezebel as faithful to her own religion, but the writers of Kings depict her as a dangerous traitor. To prove whether Yahweh or Baal is the true God, the prophet Elijah sets up a contest on Mount Carmel. The deity that can set a sacrificial bull on fire by divine intervention will be declared the true God. Jezebel's 450 prophets dance around the altar and even hurt themselves with lances and swords, but nothing happens. Then Elijah prays, and fire from the Lord immediately consumes the offering, wood, stones, and earth. The people fall on their faces and declare, "The Lord alone is God." Elijah then kills the pagan prophets in revenge for Jezebel's murder of Yahweh's followers, and Yahweh ends the drought. This sets up a confrontation between the victorious Elijah and the humiliated Jezebel. After her followers are killed, Jezebel threatens Elijah and he flees for safety. Meanwhile, at the royal palace, King Ahab wants a vineyard owned by Naboth for a garden. When Naboth refuses to sell his inheritance, Ahab sulks. Jezebel takes charge, telling him, "Now is the time to show yourself king over Israel. I will get the vineyard for you." Jezebel then forges the king's signature and sends letters falsely accusing Naboth of blaspheming God. She urges the townspeople to stone Naboth to death, and after he dies, his property goes to the royal family. Jezebel's evil plan works, but her downfall comes quickly. Yahweh tells Elijah to inform Ahab that he will be punished. Elijah delivers the message that in the place where dogs licked Naboth's blood, they will also lick Ahab's blood. He also predicts that Jezebel will be torn apart and eaten by dogs. And so she was, at the hand of Jehu, a military commander, anointed by the prophet Elisha to become the new king of Israel. With Ahab and one of his sons now dead, Jehu is ordered by Elisha to destroy the rest of the royal family. On the battlefield, he confronts the couple's son, Joram. "Is all well, Jehu?" asks Joram. "How can all be well as long as your mother Jezebel carries on her countless harlotries and sorceries?" Jehu replies. With that, he shoots an arrow through Joram's heart. Aware that her fate is sealed, Jezebel calmly and courageously prepares herself for the inevitable. As a blood-soaked Jehu gallops to Jezreel, she paints her eyes with kohl, dresses her hair, and awaits his arrival in an upper window of the palace. In 2 Kings 9 verse 30-37, Jezebel meets her demise at the hands of Jehu, her own eunuchs, a team of horses, and a pack of dogs. It takes a lot to kill a queen. When she hears of Jehu's arrival in Jezreel, she arranges her hair and paints her eyes, actions often seen as sexually suggestive. However, these acts are those of a proud and powerful queen. She arrays herself in full royal splendor and stands at the window to await the usurper. The idea that these acts are more about political power than sexual seduction is confirmed by her words to Jehu when he arrives at the gate. She throws out a taunt. "Is it peace, Zimri, murderer of your master?" Her reference is to the earlier coup of Zimri, who killed King Elah and all other claimants to the throne, 1 Kings chapter 16 verse 8-14. Her statement may also be a curse meant to thwart Jehu's success, since Zimri ruled for only 1 week before becoming a victim of political violence, 1 Kings chapter 16 verse 15-20. Jezebel's last words are clearly meant not to entice, but to deride Jehu. Her last beautifying acts can be understood similarly. Jehu responds, "Who is on my side?" Responding to his call, Jezebel's eunuchs throw her out the window, her blood splattering as she hits the ground. Jehu's now bespattered horses then trample her. The image of an adorned woman at a window suggests not only royal power, but also goddesses, especially Hathor, Asherah, and Astarte, who are also depicted looking out windows. In this way, the death of Jezebel is not just the death of a Phoenician princess who became queen of Israel, but also the symbolic death of the goddesses she worships and represents. It is not enough simply to kill her. She must be violently expelled from the political and religious community. Jezebel's body mangled and lifeless, Jehu goes inside for dinner. Almost as an afterthought, he commands her burial. But while he has been inside eating, the dogs outside are feasting as well on Jezebel's body. Dogs are powerful symbols in Canaanite religion, especially associated with the goddesses Anat and Astarte and the god Baal. There is a deep irony here. She who was devoted to these deities is devoured by them, all to the triumph of Israel. Only her palms, feet, and skull remain. A further reference to Anat may explain why only these fragments of her body are unconsumed. According to Canaanite mythology, Anat wore a necklace and belt of human skulls and hands. The religious rituals and images of ancient Near Eastern religions are inverted, perverted, and overturned in the death of Jezebel. Consumed by animals, Jezebel becomes an animal. Her dehumanization is complete. She is a foreign woman, a powerful queen, and a worshipper of deities other than Yahweh. She is ethnically and religiously different, transgresses proper gender roles, and is therefore a danger. The death and destruction of Jezebel eradicates the other to protect and preserve the proper Israelite community.